This is the
winning combination. Congratulations. Join us every night at 6:59 for Cash 3, right here on your exclusive station for the Georgia Lottery drawings.
This has been the Georgia Lottery Cash 3 drawing.
And Lindsay Wagner's on the show.
Really? Hi, Lindsay. I love your the truck things. Can I have one?
We have a makeover on the show. Do you like makeovers?
Yes, I like the blueberry makeovers the best because they're crunchy. Oh, makeover. I'm thinking of turnover. You're going to do that to Lindsay? That's a horrible thing. She looks fine.
Diane Worthington's going to make potato latkes. Or latkes.
How is Diane?
How is latke? And then you're on our show.
I am?
By virtue of this.
Oh, that'll be great. I can't wait.
Sounds like a great show. I think I'll watch it.
Well, you've got to watch it because you're on the show. But I'll watch the show. If I'm on the show, it seems like I would watch it.
You're there. You're on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rise and shine. It's a beautiful day in America. So call your neighbors and share a cup of coffee. It's time to watch the Mike and Maty Show. The Mike and Maty Show.
Please welcome Michael Berger and Maty Monfort.
Hey, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. We hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Do your clothes fit?
Well, actually, that's the reason why they wheelbarrowed us out here, and they sat us down.
Normally, you see us walking out. We put on so much weight over the Thanksgiving holiday that they actually had to preset us at about 3 o'clock this morning. Yeah.
At about what time on Christmas Eve, on Thanksgiving Day, did you unbutton the?
Oh yeah, we start that at the Burger household. We just unsnap and then sit. So you're comfortable to eat there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does
Let me ask you this.
What?
Did you bake your pig? You talked about digging a big hole in your backyard and doing a hole.
Let me just say oink.
You did?
Yes, well, actually, we have downscaled it now, Mike, because like my grandfather now can't eat that much pork and everything else, so we now just get like a side of pork.
I see.
So there's no more digging involved. You know, there's just, you put it in the oven. But through all my younger years...
You dug a hole and...
We dug the hole, put the pig...
Started a
stuck
fire?
the,
apple?
Yeah, the apple in there, and my grandmother used to marinate the pig. And Cuban marinating is the most fabulous thing. I don't know if that's the right word. Cuban marination is the most fabulous because she gets like these sour oranges with garlic and lemon juice. That sound good?
Sounds lovely. Yeah, I'm hungry
So anyway,
again.
yeah, I know. So we ate very, very well. It was like the Italian, Cuban, American festivities on Thursday.
We almost didn't eat because of something I did.
You tried to cook?
Well, years ago, when I was remodeling my house, I took apart my oven because I wanted to repaint it.
How can you repaint an oven?
That's the deal. What you have to do is you have to have it porcelainized. You can't just spray paint it. So I took the oven apart, the door and the top, and sent it out and had it reporcelainized, and I put the oven back together, and I didn't have any parts left over, so I thought I'd done a pretty good job.
Oh, no.
And I'm baking something in the oven, and it turns out now anytime I turn on the oven, the back burner heats up. Now, in Oaks, California, one of the reasons we had to sing to you all, and I'll be going into my rap song.
You know what? You know what today is?
Yeah.
Today and the rest of the week is.
That's what I was getting to.
Mike and Maty, help me. Makeover Magic Week.
Yes.
Say that 3 times real quick before you forget it.
Something we call Makeover Magic Week. There you go. Look at that! Isn't that lovely?
How cute.
Basically, what we're doing. From all of our help me letters, people have written in and said, I'd like to make over a friend of mine. And we're going to help them. Every day this week, we're going to do Makeover Magic.
And today is a very special day, and we'd love to say hello to all of our Jewish friends. It's the first day of Hanukkah.
Yes, and we have lit the first candle, so...
There's our menorah.
In honor of that, we have lit the candle. We're going to take a break and start our show. So happy Hanukkah to you all, and stay right where you are. Yeah.
Okay.
Coming up later, actress Lindsay Wagner. What's this blonde doing with red hair?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We've actually been very busy during that commercial break deciding whether or not there should be 1 or 2 candles lit on the menorah because you light it on the eve.
It's very, very interesting.
I am a Jeopardy grand champion.
And today, in honor of Hanukkah, we're going to make potato pancakes or potato latke.
They
Latke?
smell so good. We walked in this morning and smelled that
Doesn't it smell wonderful in here?
The audience just says agree, because the audience thinks in their minds they're going to try some. And of course,
Michael.
as good hosts, we will give them to you.
I hope we made enough. I think we might.
That doesn't sound like they're grateful. There you go. All right.
Okay.
Now,
So you've been a busy beaver, haven't you?
yes, at the top of the show, you saw me chatting there with Ellen, and we got a chance to go over to the set and visit that. Let me just preface this little tape you're going to see with the fact that I spent about 4 hours on that set, because they were doing a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff and shooting, and Ellen was being pulled many ways. There is so much fun on that set. The ad-libbing that goes on with Ellen and the whole staff is so engaging, and a lot of what you see on that show, I think, comes out of those fun moments. And
That's very important, because our show is that way too, behind the scenes. And she is so nice, Michael.
Jolie Fisher and David Anthony Higgins.
Yes.
They were all very accommodating and a terrific show, and we wish them lots of luck. And
I'm so happy for her success. She's a nice lady, and
yeah,
so funny.
And her brother works on our show, and I said, you know, your brother works on the show, and says hi, and she goes, who? So it's apparently...
Her brother?
Yeah.
Apparently Vance is not aware that his sister does not know who he is.
I think they're very private people.
They are.
I think they
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But you know, they're from New Orleans.
New Orleans. You know what they do on Thanksgiving?
What's that?
They bury a pig and cook it. They sure do. We
They come over to my house and do that.
have a hoedown. Hey, we got to take a break. Be right back. Makeover coming up next.
Yeah.
Don't go away. Yeah.
Next, don't miss coming up, how to make the perfect potato pancake. And next, will Lindsay Wagner regain her bionic power?
John Pruitt and Monica Kaufman, weeknights at...
Welcome back to the Mike and Maty Show with Michael Berger and Maty Monfort.
Yeah. How about that? You ready for our next guest?
I have been such a fan of this lady's for such a long time.
At the meeting, we were going,
Yeah.
making those bionic sounds. Yeah. And appropriately so, our next guest has jumped buildings. She's thrown people across rooms, and she's even opened a can with her fingernails. There's your bionic power right there.
Yeah.
She's the high-tech heroine in the Bionic beauty, Jaime Sommers. Although she's starred in countless TV movies and miniseries, she's probably best known for that role as the Bionic Woman. She'll reprise that this month with the $6 Million Man, Steve Austin. We can rebuild him. In the TV movie Bionic Ever After. Take a look.
Or how about rescuing that mad scientist from Biafra?
Oh.
Now that was bad.
I remember. It was also the time that you insisted we go north to Garatabu.
Well, it was you who insisted that we go south.
That's right.
So we went east. Oh, well. You know, none of it can compare to my most dangerous mission, though.
What?
Asking you to marry me.
Right. Who did the asking?
Oh, man. Please welcome Lindsay Wagner. Yeah. Hey, oh, look at...
Hi, Lindsay.
Hey.
How are you? Welcome. Nice to meet you.
Hey, welcome.
Wow. Redhead. Yeah.
Huh? You want to get that out? Red hair. Yeah.
How do you like it?
I'm having a great time.
Yeah?
My kids are pouting. Where's my mom?
Yeah.
Oh, I got a great story. I came home in the middle. I did this for a film, another film that I just finished. It's called Fighting for My Daughter, and it's about teenage prostitution and some of the real problems that are going on. And it's kind of semi-educational and kind of help people see and get some clues about what to do with this problem and how to spot the type of seduction that's going on to young girls who are easy prey for these guys who wouldn't ordinarily be doing it, but they're kind of being trained these days in recruiting. So anyway, that's what the film is about. And it's about a mother who went in and got her daughter out, and she's a pretty tough cookie, so I kind of changed my image. But anyway, I came home in the middle of the film for my children's birthday. I've never left them before, but this time we had to for certain reasons, so they stayed with Grandma. And I came home for the birthday parties, and I got them little motorcycles for their birthdays. And little dirt bikes, you know? Yeah. And just before I went back, my little guy's sitting in the back, he's 8, and he goes, Mom? And he was real quiet for a long time, and then he goes, Mom, he says, when you put your hair back to blonde again, are you going to take the bikes away?
He thought
Do you think I've got
character.
nuts? You know, you just think I've got nuts? This is funny, it's okay. I'm still me.
Yeah.
You know?
Wait, it's still you and still back reprising this role as the Bionic Woman. Is that, how'd they bring you into that? Is it something you wanted to do, or?
Well, you know, it's such a thing of the past for me.
Yeah.
that it was interesting. It was an interesting process. But after all the discussions, and Richard Anderson, who executive produced it, is a good friend from way back when, who plays Oscar Goldman.
Absolutely.
And he, I felt that what would be nice about it would be the closure. They finally get married. I mean, we left everybody hanging for 20 years.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, that's a long courtship.
It's the least we could do.
You could tell us right now that you accept the proposal.
Oh, yeah.
It happens.
Do you? And will you have bionic babies?
Man.
Do we get to the second part of this?
Can't even imagine that delivery.
Yeah.
But you mentioned your children.
Delivering a bionic baby.
Can you imagine? You could, if anybody could do it, you could, Jamie.
That's right.
Now, you mentioned your children, and we understand, and I've read so much about you from prior because I've been such a big fan, that you, in many of your deals, when you do movies, you make sure that your children are allowed on the set and that you can bring them with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're a package deal. If they don't go, I don't go.
Yeah.
So this was the first time in all the years. My oldest boy is 12, and my youngest is 8, and family comes first, and then if I can fit work into it, I do.
Well, that's nice. Yeah.
Good for you. Do they like going out?
They have up until recently. It's getting more difficult for my older boy because he's now 12, and, you know, the social structure at home gets a little different, and the kids are wanting to do more together. So, as mom gets less significant, you know, as you get older, it's still, yeah, I mean, they still enjoy it, but it's harder. He wants to get back and get doing this stuff again.
Do you pull them out of school? Like
yeah,
when you
and
go on
then we just
location?
take it, you know, I have to obviously invest in a tutor and that kind of thing, but it's very worth it.
Is that a tough balance for you, mom and career?
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of work.
Because you work, I mean, was it 30 TV movies, 30 movies since 1979? I mean, people think...
That's like 2 a year, right? More or less it works out to?
Sometimes 3, yeah.
Yeah. Single mom?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's a lot of work. It's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard, you know. But for me, it's about my experience is that God or the universe, whatever you want to call it, when you commit to something to your core, that the world responds and you're taken care of if you put your hands in that and put your faith in that. So when I had my children and my first son especially, that was the struggle. The struggle was, how am I going to do this? I know what kind of mom I want to be. I want to nurse my children. I want them to self-regulate, self-wean, and that, you know, tell the production, I'm sorry, every 2 hours you're going to have to stop for 20 minutes, and yeah, round the clock, yeah. And so I was really torn, and at one point I went, why are you so upset about this? And it was because I hadn't recommitted to what my priorities are. Because once you really know that, all you have to do is live according to that, and everything falls in place. Right. But I was still kind of had my old priorities set in my mind, not consciously, but I realized that was still there.
Sure.
And so once I said, no, my kids come first, my family comes first. If anybody will hire me on the basis that I have to be hired in order to continue to be the mom, and I bought this huge trailer, this huge thing with the pop outside as my dressing room, so it would be their place. So every job I had, we'd have their home away from home.
They got a home away from home.
Has their stuff on the walls, you know.
Let me hold you there. We got to take a commercial, something I'm sure you're familiar with, because every commercial I've ever seen in the last 5 years has been you hawking those Fords. Gonna find out find out how you got into selling those cars, and I understand you turned the company around. You yourself brought Ford back to the top.
Single-handedly, the Bionic Woman changed
She did
Ford.
it. Gotta take a break. Be right back.
Tomorrow, talk show host Jerry Springer. He's got some unbelievable stories to tell.
The guilt. I mean, look at this one. It's like owning your own plane. And that sound system. The seat is so comfortable. You get dual airbag.
Yeah. We're back with Lindsay Wagner. So let me ask you, are you driving a Ford?
Oh, certainly am.
There you go.
Blaring that CD in my 5.0.
I bet they're grateful to you, are they not?
They're very good to me.
Yeah.
We
I
have
mean,
a nice
modestly speaking,
relationship.
you did some good for them, didn't you?
Yeah.
How long has it been going on? 5 years already? You've
7,
been doing the
maybe?
commercials?
We're starting our 8th year. I can't believe it.
Gosh.
Yeah. October begins our 8th year.
There's something about your voice, as I hear you speak now, especially seeing you in person, it's that kind of voice that as a child, if you were sick, maybe at school, calling home, you'd want to hear your voice. It has that reassuring, nurturing sound. But anyways, we spoke on the break. I get that feeling from you I mean, it permeates your whole life, this whole
Anybody who
nurture.
can nurse for 4 years is definitely a
I guess
comforting
the nursing
person.
thing is nurturing.
We were talking about that. One of the ladies in the audience asked how long you nursed, and you
I'm
said
a cancer,
4 and
you
3.
know? It's like the eternal mother.
I interviewed Harry Anderson from Night Court and, of course, now Dave's World, and we got into talking about dyslexia. An interview that's coming up, and I understand that you suffer from it as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And did you, because he didn't know coming along what the problem
Didn't
was.
have a clue. I mean, when I was a kid, my generation, they just called you an attitude problem. And you just would walk around feeling real bad because you were trying your little behind
What was it
off
with
and
you?
no
What
help,
exactly
no
was
idea.
your problem? Was it reversing, or was it not being able to
A lot
stay?
of things, but you know, I've never been specifically diagnosed because I didn't have any of those capacities then. And as an adult, I just kind of taught myself to get over it and do different tricks and things to deal with it. But yes, reversals, tracking.
In a nutshell, that's what it is, for
Well,
those that are not familiar.
dyslexia, the term dyslexia specifically means reversing. And, but there are several different types of learning differences. And I have a couple. I mean, like tracking is yet another problem. Somebody can reverse without having tracking problems.
This is something that you still live with.
Well, yeah, although it's light years better. I've done some interesting forms of healing with it. And because I've done a lot of work with homeopathy, and
Explain that.
energetic healing is very helpful in these areas.
You explain what it does. Homeopathic? I mean,
Oh, we
homeopathic?
don't have time. Yeah.
Is that what you mean? I mean, the
Yeah,
homeopathic?
homeopathic treatment, but yeah, real deep homeopathic
So
treatment.
how did you go through school?
And just learning and also getting over anybody who has that kind of a problem, when you get stressed or tired, it gets worse.
Yeah,
So the
compounds it.
fact that you're growing up hiding something like that emotionally is so painful that it's always at its worst.
Yeah.
You know, and the stress of a test or the stress of having to do a book report, or you know, immediately you go into your maximum disability, right?
Yeah.
So
And
what
so
would you-
now that I don't really care anymore and I can say it out loud and I know I'm not stupid and you know, it's
Cher has it too, I heard.
a lot of people in our industry have.
A lot of people that have done a
Einstein
lot
failed
of good.
math, come on.
I know that. I
You
keep
know?
bringing that up as I did that in elementary school. You know, Einstein failed math.
Yeah.
There's no reason I have to pass this. Yeah.
So what did you do in school? I mean, how did you get by?
Okay. Well, all kinds of tricks. You know, you'd learn when they were, okay, we're all going to read a piece of this chapter. You're going to read 3 sentences and you're going to...
Yeah.
And I'd count like 2 kids up from me. Can I go to the bathroom, please? And I'd go to the bathroom when it was my turn to read, and I'd come
gosh.
back when they passed me. Oh, darn. Oh, well. I'll read tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. Or when we had to do a book report, I'd go out and I'd get cliff notes. Everybody would be reading the novel, and I'd read the cliff notes and write these elaborate book reports. And the teacher would say, you know, I'd love to give you an A on this because it was an incredible book report, because it's not that my mind didn't work. I had trouble just getting the words off the page was my problem, not the concepts, not the intellectual exchange, any of that. So he'd say, but you didn't really answer all the questions I asked. So, you know, it's really, must have missed that in the book.
I just picked the ones I wanted.
Yeah, and, you know, just kind of did stuff like that all the way through.
And when you became an actress...
So they gave me a C instead of an A.
So they gave you a
Because
C.
I didn't do the whole assignment. But
And
it
look,
was so
and
good
look what
being-
happened to you. Look what
Yeah.
turned out here, huh?
A lot of... But wait a second, so when you become an actress, didn't I read that your mom used to help you with your scripts and used to help you read?
No, not my mom, but I would have somebody, well, whoever was working with me. My mother did work with me at one time. Maybe that's what you're
Right.
thinking about. But yeah, she did for a period of time. But whoever was working with me, if I was working and somebody I have to have an answer in 3 hours.
Right.
I just say, read this to me real quick so I can hear it. Just
Right.
boop, 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 so they can read it fast through it. And now I can crank through it pretty fast myself.
Shifting
I don't
gears,
have to do that
shifting
so
gears a
much.
half a second, you mentioned that you had gone to Washington, or you still go to Washington, with your concern about violence and television violence,
have done.
and taking a stand on it and
have.
doing some good work. And
Well, I went there and testified at a Senate hearing. And
I think, do you hope things will get better? Do you see
well,
progress?
I think it's a tough issue. You know, I do feel that the brakes need to be put on. Seriously, need to be put on, and some sense used. But it's a tough issue because the way people interpret it. You know, the networks are also. The only good thing I had to say when I was there, you know, and the senator asked me, by the way, do you think you're going to be doing anything from this point on in your career?
Will you work ever again?
Asked me in
Right.
3
Because I thought
months.
you'd be
You know,
blackballed.
I said, but first of all, I'm a mom, you know, and I
Yeah.
see this stuff and it kills me, and the way they're being conditioned.
Is there any violence in your new
Bionic Ever After?
Yeah?
Yeah, that was a tough one, too. That was very tough. That was why, you know, when you said, oh, did you just want to go do this? It was like, you know,
But if I remember correctly, in your Bionic shows, those people were thrown in slow motion, so they couldn't possibly be hurt, right?
Yeah.
When you hit somebody, it was just a slow thing.
Even then, it was always defensive. I never used the violence to solve my problems. You know, that was the one thing that was different when I came on the show and started my own. We started turning the stories around so that it wasn't that the strongest guy won in the fight. It was that I used my head and then used my bionics to figure out how to do this and this and this, but not to do this, you know, to a human being.
And this is coming up. It's on CBS. We don't know the exact date, but do you? Not yet. It's.
I did 3 times and they've changed it. So.
All you got to know is it's on
Check your local
CBS. It's
listings.
Bionic Ever After. They're going to get married. You know that much. And but what a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Lindsay
Thank you,
Wagner.
Lindsay.
Got to take a break.
Thank you
Be
very
right back.
Next, a Hanukkah favorite everyone can enjoy, potato pancakes.
Oh, if they honeymoon in Europe, will they need an adapter?
This is CBS.
Tonight, a world premiere on the CBS Tuesday movie. It's the wedding you've waited 20 years for.
Hey, if you're gonna start something, you better be prepared to finish it.
Bionic Woman.